Hi, I'm Tim and this is Timberway Designs. In this series of videos, I'm going to take a rough rock or slab and I'm going to make a cabochon out of it, and I'll take you through all my steps of how I do it. This week I got a piece of petrified wood. Let's make a cabochon. Here is this week's project, a piece of petrified wood. I picked this up at a rock swap. The guy from North Dakota was selling big chunks of it, and this is the end cut slab here, and then the rest of it I'm going to put onto my big slab saw to cut it up. This stuff is really pretty. So get it wet here so we can take a good look at it. Yeah, that's gorgeous. So there's the back side there. Now let me dry this off quick. The thing I don't like about this stuff is it's really can be problematic with lots of cracks and stuff you can't see in there. And there's some fractures floating around in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two template. I wanted to do this one right about here. Now I'm using these templates I make here and sell them on Etsy, and then I use this ultra-fine Sharpie. So we're going to do the first one right here. And then I wanted to do another one. I'm going to use the pear shape. I'm going to come down here in the bottom. I'm going to do that one right about there. So now I get two chances to make a cab out of this material. And if that don't work out, I still got this piece here, and then I can always cut a slab off that the other chunk that's waiting downstairs. So we're going to take this down to my trim saw. We're going to cut these out here, and then we'll move over to the cabbing machine and make cabochons out of them. So I'll see you down on the trim saw. So this is the 2-auto 8-inch trim saw here that I did a video on. They sent it to me to test and show it in my videos, and I like it. It's been trimming out pretty good. I also have an affiliate link. It's Timberway Designs. I'll put it right there, and then I'll put a card up if you want to see the video here. All the link stuff is in the description down below, and it gets you another 5% off. So if you're interested, check it out. So first thing I'm going to do is we're going to turn it on. Turn this knob right here, and I like to run about 1800 RPM. Right about there. All right, let's do some trimming here. All right, we got our two shapes cut out here. Now, I'm not going to show this one in the cabbing video unless I have to switch to it, because you saw how the chunks are breaking off. So unless there's some hidden fracture in here, this is the one you're going to see in the video. So let's move over to the cabbing machine. This is my 6-inch Kingston North cabbing machine. I have no affiliation with them. This is just a machine I bought, and this is what I use for cabbing right now. So we got both the cabs here, but like I said, I'm going to work on this one unless it breaks, and then I got a backup. So we'll start with the 60 or 80 grit, kind of rough shape it and get close to the line. And then we'll move over to 220 grit to get it on the line, and then 280 grit to clean everything up. And then we'll put it on a dop stick, and then we'll start this process all over again, dome it, and then move on to the polishing side. So let's get started here. All right, that's good enough on the 80 grit. Now you can see I kind of leave a flat spot there, and then I kind of undercut it back a little bit. So this will be my girdle, but I made it kind of wide, so I'm not trying to cut down, you know, 1/2 inch of rock or 3/8 of rock on this here when I really don't have to. So that's why I do that there. So let's move on to 220 grit. There, got that. This stuff is super hard, and this is basically a new wheel I swap out with my sintered wheel, because if I had my sintered 220 on here, I'd be here for 30 minutes grinding the edge here. I mean, I like it, but not for grinding the edge. So now got this all done, let's move over to 280 grit. See what we got going here. Probably gonna have to spend a little time on this wheel, but not too bad. There's a few marks. Actually, I'm gonna run it on there a little bit longer, but I think I got most of them out. All right, I think we're good here. We're gonna throw it on top hot, heat it up, put a stick on it, make a cab out of it. So we'll see you in a little bit. All right, we're all dopped up here. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna cut a girdle into this stone here. And it's a flat spot. It comes up from the bottom, 1/8 inch, 2 millimeter-ish, plus or minus. And it's gonna go all the way around the bottom of this stone here. And then once I establish that, I'm gonna start working my way to the center of the stone, kind of putting a rough dome on it. So let's start grinding here. Oh, we'll start with the 80 grit, then the 220. Pull my light down around here. Okay, 80 grit, 220, and then we'll finish up on the 280 grit here. So let's start. All right, I established this girdle here. Goes all the way around the bottom of the cab. The only problem is I had a chunk fly out right here. I don't know if it's right there. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and finish the cab, then I'll try to fix it instead of trying to grind it down on the stick, grind it out. I think I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. So now that we've established the girdle, we're going to start cutting the edges. Oops. I'm going to start in this edge here and work my way around the cab, working my way towards the center. Now stay away from the girdle because you've established that. We don't want to cut into that anymore. So this rock has got a little dimple in it right there. I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, so I'm trying to grind that out right now so we get a nice smooth dome on there. So it's a little high here. I got to come down to here, so I'm going to be grinding on this for a little while. Yeah, just a little bit more right there. This thing is really hard. All right, I think we got it. So, got a nice dome here. I'm going to take it on the 220 grit and we're going to clean up the edge and then clean up the dome and kind of work our way towards the 280 grit. Now I like to work my way around the edge here, kind of clean up the line where the girdle is and then give me a little buffer zone of 280 grit or 220 grit before I start doming it. All right, got the edge broke, looking pretty good. Let's move on to 280 grit. Let's see what we got going here. Yeah, lots of scratches in there. So, I'm going to be on this 280 grit for a little while here. Now, all them white dots you see on top of this stone are scratches from this 220 wheel. So you got to stay on here until all those are gone. see what we got going here. Yeah, a lot better. So gonna move over to the polishing side, and I'll see you there. We finally moved over to the polishing side because this thing is hard. You got to get all the scratches out before you come over here, because then you're really going to see them once you start polishing the stone. So what we have here is a 600, a 1200, and a 3000 grit, and then I have a cerium oxide disc around the corner here. So let's start with 600. All right, let's move on to the 1200. All right, getting there. We're gonna move on to 3000 now. See what we got going here with our efforts so far. Yeah. That is going to be super shiny by the time we hit the cerium oxide. So let's move around the corner of the cerium oxide and see how we can do here. This is my cerium oxide disc. It's a sticky pad that glues onto a foam circle, and then that screws into the end of the shaft right here. I like it because it's not messy and it does a relatively good job. So let's give it a shot here. Okay, time to see how we did here. You don't get much shinier than that. So I'm going to take this and throw it in the freezer, and then I had some requests to show how I do what I do with the cab after I get it off the stick in the freezer. Basically, I'm going to throw it in the freezer for about 15 minutes, and I run it under hot tap water, and usually the cab will pop right off most of the time. And then I'll show you what I do down here to clean it up. So I'll see you back here. All right, we're back here on my Kingsley North. I just want to show you what I do with these rocks after they come out of the fridge, or the cabs. So it came off the stick. It left a little wax on the edges. Why usually I take a little butter knife and I take the smooth side and I scrape in towards the center of the stone and remove this. Now the wheels will grind this off, but I like to get off as much as I can. Kind of like that. Okay, and I'll start. I don't polish the back side. All I do is make sure the line is gone and just run it across the back to smooth it up a little bit. So I just use the 280 grit and I use the 600 grit. I just checked. I can see a little bit of the line right there, and looks pretty good. All right, now what I do is I'll put a chamfer on this edge right here. Now you could round it over by kind of going like that, but this is a really risky maneuver here, because if you slip and go on that wheel with the stone, like the face of the stone, you're going to be starting all over again. So you got to be kind of careful here. Hard stones, I usually go around 3 times, and that should be enough there. So now, basically all I'm going to do is take it on the 600 grit and kind of do the same thing. All right, we're ready to go. Got the back cleaned up, and we're going to take it upstairs and look at it closely. Let's see how we did here. Here's a cabochon. Really good representation of petrified wood. Nice wood grain, beautiful shine. And you can really see it there. Now, like I said, I don't polish the back of these things. You can see a little blade mark and stuff in there. And all I do is just smooth it and cut this edge right here. And then that's what you saw downstairs. This is the money side right here. So, and I'll be honest with you, this stone was really hard. I just, I make a lot of cabochons here, and those wheels do not last forever. Now, if you're doing softer stones, Mo 5s or softer, you can do a lot of stones on there. And even I struggled with this one a little bit, especially on a 280. And with the softer stone, it just goes right through there. Just like last week when I did the blue quartz out, that was pretty easy compared to this. But the results with these harder stones just speak on their own. They're just incredible when you get a really good finish on them. And I didn't have to use the spare, so that's still downstairs. So there you have it, petrified wood from North Dakota. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me make this piece of petrified wood into a beautiful cabochon. It was a little work, but I think it was worth it in the end. So this rock will end up on Etsy, and I've been pretty good about getting, probably next week I'm going to be gone, probably a week from this coming Saturday. I know that this video, somebody's going to be watching it 10 years from now going, what? So anyway, I'll get it on there. And then next week, I got this cute little green speckly rock sent from a viewer in Oregon. And got a little story behind this one here, but I'll let you know that when we go to cab this rock here. So this video comes out every Saturday, and have another video comes out on Wednesday. Every morning at 8 o'clock I post these videos Wednesday and Saturday. So you can kind of jump back and forth and watch some cabbing, and then you can watch some rocks being cut in half. Really want to thank the subscribers out there. I'm getting close to 21,000. I really appreciate it. And all you viewers out there that haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. Just slide down there and push that subscribe button, absolutely free. Slide over, give me a thumbs up, and then you can hyperlink it, push the bell button for notifications, and share it. See, I got it right that time. And then I'm gonna put a playlist up, and it'll be the playlist for this video here, so you don't have to go hunting for them. And I'm up to 79 or 78 now. That'd be kind of cool. You just click on that and you can just binge watch. And then I have playlists for my other video. You can binge watch those, so you can kind of go back and forth on that too. Now you'll notice I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt, and I never wear short sleeve shirts when I'm doing these videos, but I had to step out today, and I just forgot to put my long sleeve shirt back on, which is no big deal, but I don't know. I just felt, I've been wearing long sleeve shirts the whole time, so that's what I was going to do, but oh well. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. That's all I got, and I'll catch you later.